feel like I can't help my child with their grief? I'm not an expert. Sound familiar? If this is you, in this video, I will go through exactly what you need to do to prepare yourself before you walk in the room to have a conversation about grief with your child. You will learn the 4 simple steps to be ready to have those conversations. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Dr. Annette Athy. I have been a grief specialist and child development expert and in the mental health field for over 20 years. As I mentioned, you are going to learn 4 simple steps to help you be anchored and prepared and in the best spot to walk into the room and have those grief conversations with your child. Plus, if you comment anchor, #anchor, in the comments below, you will unlock my calendar for a free 15-minute grief to healing conversation where I give you the #1 strategy to help in your household addressing grief and your child's grief journey. For those of you that are here, if you are watching live, comment #live. And for those of you that are watching the replay, please put #replay. This helps the video stay at the top of the feed so that those who maybe didn't see the live are able to find the video easier. Breaking news, you do not have to be an expert to get the parenting job done and have these grief conversations. And for those of you who may not know, did you know that if you are anchored in your nervous system, meaning you show up calm, prepared, and not letting anxiety drive the bus, this is the best predictor of your child's success. And because that's so important, I'm going to say that again. You, as the parents, are your child's best predictor of success. And what that means is that if you are a calm presence in your child's life, meaning you're able to take the ups and downs, you're able to process through and communicate your feelings effectively, your child will model that after you. So today, what I'm going to teach you is those important steps of what you can do to help your nervous system, how you are presenting before you even walk in to have a conversation. So this is kind of the prep work. So what does it mean to be anchored? What that means is that you are showing up in a calm, relaxed body. You are present and listening. So we're not coming from a teaching standpoint. We're not listening to respond, but we are just showing up and being present. We're being an anchor. So if you think of a ship with an anchor, it holds them on one spot. It doesn't matter how big the waves get. It doesn't matter what the weather is doing. The boat is able to just kind of move with it and safely stay in place. So we are going to become our child's anchor. And so the first reason that I want to share with you, and kind of that first step in understanding why this being an anchor is so important, is that our kids gain security from us. And what does that mean? If we are anchored and calm in our bodies, our kids get this feeling, this sensation, or this energy that things are gonna be okay. That is something that is so important. And I have worked with many parents who, and possibly this is you, who are absolutely willing and capable to have the conversations. They're ready to talk about grief with their children, but they're showing up looking uncomfortable or looking awkward or nervous, or maybe their own grief feelings or anxiety or depression are showing up. And when that shows up, that suggests to our child that there's something to be worried about. There's something to be concerned. And so oftentimes our kids will hold back because they don't want us to feel bad. So the number one thing, again, to showing up and being anchored is so that our kids will gain that security. They will feel, no matter what we have to say, no matter how big their storm is, that we are anchored. We are not going to add to the hurricane or the tornado. The second part is, I think it's important to understand a little bit about our nervous system and anxiety. And the piece that I want you to understand is it is physically impossible for us to be anxious in a calm body. Many of us are predisposed to anxiety or depression through our genetics, or maybe simply our grief is overwhelming, or maybe we haven't lost anybody ourselves, but now our child is going through a loss. And so maybe this is just simply uncharted territory. And in that uncharted territory, we might bring our own issues or our own nervousness or feelings associated with these topics to the conversations. I have taught many parents how to show up and be ready for these conversations. And in my grief course, this is one of the first steps that we tackle is, as parents, how do we anchor ourselves? How do we show up to be the person that our kids can lean on? Because before we even do the talking, if as parents we're not showing up as the anchor, we are just adding to the chaos. So the critical step here, after now knowing those two reasons as to why it's important, is how do we show up? How do we show up as that anchor? And the first thing is we want to be calm and in our ventral state. And when I say ventral state, what I'm referring to is our polyvagal system. And I know this is kind of, that $20 word, but the polyvagal system is our nervous system, and our nervous system helps protect us. And if we are not in a calm, safe place, feeling connected, we are activated in our polyvagal system. If we walk into a room and our child is already activated, we become activated too. So instead of responding in a way that might be loving or caring, we might come from a more attacking or anxious place. So the first step is, how do you calm your nervous system? The simplest way is to imagine your happy place. So if you'll take just a minute and think about either an image from a movie, or maybe a vacation time, or a time when you felt at your happiest, at your calm. I like to use the image for myself is on the beach, in a hammock between two palm trees, just kicked back and relaxing. Just listening to the waves come in and out. That for me is my happy place. So as you're thinking about this image or happy place, you might notice that you feel a little bit more relaxed because it's bringing you back this calm, safe, connected moment. As parents, we sometimes don't believe that we are the expert or that we could possibly know the best thing for our child to do next, especially if we're dealing with our own grief. And many of you in this group have not only lost a significant person to your child, but that person was significant to you as well. And so helping our nervous system and get to this calm, relaxed state is also helpful in our own grief. So it's not only beneficial for conversations with our children, but also beneficial for us in our own grieving process. Talking about your happy place is something that you could talk about with your kids. Again, a reference point of helping bring that nervous system to this calm ventral state. Another great tip and important step is when we start to feel activated, like I mentioned before, when it starts to feel like the waves are hitting and crashing against the boat, how do we get back to that happy place? Because sometimes just recalling the image is not enough. So I'm going to give you 3 simple ways to reset your nervous system. And these 3 ways are things you can do anywhere, any place. So number 1 step for resetting your nervous system, taking a deep breath. I know it sounds cliche. I'm sure you have told your children to take a deep breath, or somebody has told you, just breathe, just take a deep breath. Well, again, as we go back to talking about that it's physically impossible to be anxious in a calm body, that deep breath disconnects the hardwiring in our brain where anxiety lives, and that deep breath resets our nervous system. So it actually has an importance and a reason why it's helpful. The second way is a fake yawn. We've all been in a room where somebody yawns and then suddenly the next person and the next person. That yawn actually resets your nervous system. And the third way is a big deep sigh. That sigh resets the nervous system. And so right there you have 3 simple ways that you can reset the nervous system. So if you're in a conversation and you sense that this is not going well, I'm starting to get stressed, I'm starting to get irritated, I'm frustrated with my child, or I don't know what to say, and so I'm getting frustrated with myself, I want to pull out those 3 steps, either a sigh, a yawn, or a deep breath to reset my nervous system and go back to that happy place. These simple steps will make a big difference. Just our calming presence and energy and being that anchor for our child, again, like we talked about, is the biggest predictor of our child's success. So if we can be that person, let's do that. If you are wanting some additional support, I welcome you to comment #anchor. And if you are ready to take that next step or need some more hands-on number 1 strategy to address grief in your household this week, please comment #anchor. And I will send you a link to join my free 15-minute grief to healing clarification call. And like I said, I will help you come up with the #1 strategy to address grief in your household this week. I look forward to seeing you in the group, and have a great week.